So today we are going to start learning how to create the walk cycle in Animate. So a walk cycle is what makes a character look like they're really walking and not just sort of shuffling along or skipping or anything else. And there's actually quite a bit to learn for the walk cycle. But before we start actually learning how to walk, we need to make a character. And so we're just going to make a stick figure character, but I want you to make it with me because it's important to set it up a certain way. So I've opened Adobe Animate. I'm going to click Create Now. I'm going to choose Education and High. And then what I want you to do is I want you to set the frame rate for 12. The default is 24, but 24 is a lot of frames, and we don't need that many frames. So set the frame rate for 12 and say Create. Alright, so we have our stage. Now, if your screen looks different than mine, if you have different tools here, what you need to do is go to Window, go to Workspaces, and choose Essentials, and that will set it to look the same as mine. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a head for our stick figure. So to draw the head, I want to go over here on the left-hand side, and I want to choose the Oval tool. Okay, and right now my Oval tool has an orange fill and a black stroke. That's 6 points, and I'm fine with that. He's going to look, I like the idea of having him have a 2-color head. Okay, and I'm just going to draw a circle on my stage, and you want it to be round. Okay, after you've drawn that circle, go ahead and choose the selection tool and highlight the whole circle. Alright, we're going to right click on it and we're going to choose Convert to Symbol. So if you don't select the whole item, if you just click on it, what will happen is all you're doing is selecting part of it. You're not selecting the whole thing. So you need to make sure you select the whole item, right click, Convert to Symbol. And we're going to name this symbol Head, so we know it's his head. Alright. Now the next thing is I want you to click on the Free Transform tool, because there's an important part about his head. So there's a little white dot. When you choose the Free Transform tool, there's a little white dot that shows. And what that dot is the pivot point. And what that means is if I go to the edge and try to pivot this shape, it's going to pivot around that point. Well, people's heads don't move that way. So what I want to do is grab that dot and drag it down to the bottom where his neck would be. Now that dot only shows when you're on the Free Transform tool. Now if I pivot, you'll see he can pivot on that spot, so it sort of looks like a head on someone's neck. Okay? So we can take his head and we can move it out of the way, because now we need to create the rest of his body. So I'm going to grab the Line tool, alright, and I want my line to be a stroke of 6, and I'm going to go ahead and draw him in black. And I'm going to draw his body, just a straight line. Now, when you draw the pieces of your character, you want to draw them separately so we can make each one individually a symbol. So you're actually going to draw his arm, and then his forearm, and like this, like very separated. His arm, his forearm, okay, his thigh, both sides, his shin, both sides, and I think I made that one just a little bit too long, and his foot, and his foot. Alright, so now we're going to go, now that we have all his pieces, and see how I've separated them, we're going to go back and grab the selection tool, and we're going to select his forearm, and we're going to make it into a symbol, and we're going to call it forearm. I think I'm actually going to call it left forearm. Forearm is like the bottom part of your arm. And then I'm going to choose this piece, and I'm going to do the same thing, Convert to Symbol. I'm going to call this left upper arm. And now I want to do the other side. Convert to Symbol, right upper arm. Convert to Symbol, right forearm, and convert to symbol body. Convert to symbol right thigh. Left thigh. Left shin. Left foot. That one I already did. You can see because it's showing up differently. This one is not. So this is the right shin. And this is his right foot. And if you just highlight all of them, you can see now they're all appearing as symbols. Alright? So what I want to do now is I want to go to the free transform tool and I want to click on each one individually and I want to move that pivot point to where that item would have a pivot. So this is your forearm, so you'd have a pivot at your elbow. And this one I'm going to move the pivot point up to the shoulder. Same thing, to the shoulder. So remember, to see that dot, I have to be on the free transform tool. Move this one down to the elbow. I'm going to move this one up to the top of his thigh. This one up to his knee. And his foot to his ankle. Okay. And if I select them all, okay, so I can say everything looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to put them together. So I'm going to go ahead and drag the pieces now so we can put our character together. I actually think I want that on the other side. And we'll put his head on. And we have created our character that we can now animate with the walk symbol, with the walk